Hey everyone, NWA Prepper here. It is the evening after a MAG meeting, or I guess the evening of a MAG meeting. And we did toiletry buckets tonight, which I will probably... Anyway, if you haven't already seen the toiletry bucket video, then it's coming very soon. Oh no, because I'm gonna recap it tomorrow and show you kind of what we did. But something that's come up in discussion is the need for more medical training, and I'm not talking about, sutures and advanced airways and, things like that. Just basic, run-of-the-mill first aid. Bleeding control, infection control, cleanliness, general sickness, things like that. Just normal everyday, no feel-goody stuff and owies. Because not everyone knows how to handle those. I may not handle those like you handle those. I certainly may not handle them like a physician would or an RN. And so that's something that we're going to do as a group and work on just everyday. First aid is the wrong term because it's not really just first aid. Because first aid is the first care given in an emergency. By definition, I guess. But what we're going to do is we're going to build a class on everyday medical care. And we're going to start with hand washing and, proper use of PPE or gloves, gowns, and goggles and masks. Which are not every day, but we're still going to cover that. And we're going to talk about just some everyday stuff. An example of that, of course, this wasn't actually with my group, but somebody the other day was like, oh, my son's nauseous and he's had diarrhea and he's throwing up. So I gave him some Tums. Tums isn't the best medicine for that. Tums is an antacid, which may be some of what's going on, but that doesn't help with the nausea or the diarrhea. And so there are other medicines, over-the-counter, everyday medicines that will help with that. Well, they just never thought of it. They just always thought, well, Tums helps. I take Tums, it makes my stomach feel better when it's upset. And so that made me kind of start thinking and asking questions about things like that. And that is also most likely going to be the next NWA Prepper Challenge when it comes around in a week or so. Or it'll probably be after the new year, but whatever. Anyway, so how versed are you on everyday illnesses? Colds, flus, stomach aches, diarrhea, cut fingers. How do you know how to tell about infection? How do you prevent infection or help treat infection? Do you have the tools that it takes? Do you have the right medicines? It's not always better to swing a big multi-dose or multi-medicine at something. Like an example is Mucinex is the name brand, but I can't pronounce the generic medicine in it. But Mucinex multi-symptom for headaches and runny nose and chest congestion and cough and blah, 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 blah. You just read down the thing. That may not be the best medicine. You may just need a nasal decongestant. Or you may just need, just the mucus medicine, or, and it's better, in my opinion, and I am not a physician. I'm not telling you how to do things medically, but in my opinion, it's better to give one medicine to treat the root of the problem than to give several medicines in a mix to just treat all these things, and one of them is what's going on. Now, it takes some observation, and often I'm wrong. I'll start out with, this medicine for this symptom, and it's actually something else causing it. I am certainly not saying that I'm an expert in that field at all. But that's what we're going to be working at. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to read labels. We're going to go through our first aid book. There's a general, it's an older book actually, but a general knowledge medical care book that I'm going to go through, and we're going to take a chapter a week or 3 chapters a week, and we're going to read together and come together and go, okay, so these are the solutions for this that I have found work for me and my family, or this is what I've heard. What do you guys think of this or that? And we're going to work that kind of stuff out and grow our everyday basic medical care. Nothing fancy, over-the-counter stuff, until we get better at it. Learn more about it. Become more comfortable with it. So every time one of the kids in our group has a sniffle, the mom or dad doesn't go, oh my gosh, we gotta do this and that. I mean, those may not be what is needed to be done. What do you think? Is that something you guys think is important? Do you study those things? Do you want to learn more about those things? I know it's not as sexy as trauma and tourniquets and GSW, or gunshot wounds to the chest, and suturing and intubations and IVs. But in my mind, it's going to be just as important as those other cool, sexy things. Certainly going to be more common. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is that something you're focused on? Something you've learned? Do you have good resources or good ideas on where we can go to get better at that stuff? Let me know. Comment down below. Like, share the video, share the channel, and let's get ready. Thanks for watching.